Okay, so this is going to be interesting because I actually uh, didn't plan on doing this on my mobile device. So the audio quality is gonna be a bit different. Just give me 1 second here. Thanks for joining me live. This is kind of an interesting scenario because I actually set it up on my mobile. So apparently YouTube only lets you. And there we go. The interesting parts about live streaming. Okay, so I'm gonna take my headphones out. You're gonna hear probably some shallow audio as a result. Whoops. But thanks for joining me today. It is how to plan your week in a little less than an hour. That's what we're doing today. And today is my planning day. I'd like to thank you for joining me today. I will be saving this on my YouTube channel as a live recording, a live workshop. Again, what is it? It's easier. Perfect is better, or done is better than perfect, I guess is the way to look at this thing. So I'll be sharing this in on the YouTube channel for a while. I'll get better at this, but this is my first YouTube live ever. So I'm kind of excited that we're putting this thing together. I have all my equipment ready. I had like a microphone set up and ready to go. I had my iMac right here ready to go. I had my Rodecaster Pro ready to go. I had everything ready, and then YouTube said, "Yeah, you have to start this on your mobile device." So I didn't have my iPad's over there. I could have done it on the iPad, but it's way over there. So I thought I'd just do this on the actual live on the mobile device that I have in front of me. So this is new. I'm going to hope if you're in the chat. I'm just going to put some stuff here. Please say hello if you're in the chat. I know that Thomas is here. If you're here, so I know I'm talking to somebody. So that way I can kind of say, oh, here we go. All right, so we've got Dom is here from JDL QDK. Great to see you. See, this is tech at its finest. So I'm glad to see you here. I'm going to be kind of looking at my computer every once in a while too, but I'm seeing it on the mobile device, so we'll be able to kind of dig in there as well. What we're going to do during this workshop today is we are going to plan your week in less than an hour. Today is my planning day, so I'm actually going to go through a live, like I'm going to actually plan my week. Oh, you're from Italy. Great, Claudia, thanks for watching me again, for taking part. Again, looking at my mobile device, it's harder to see, so I'll probably just look at the iMac in front of me here. So this is what I'm going to use to plan. You can actually get this from my Gumroad store. If you're interested in something like that, let me just go here and see if I can find it. It is, and then we'll get into things. But all you really need right now is a pen and a paper, or a pencil and a paper. If you want to use more than one pen, you want to use more than one. Nadia, great to see you. If you want to use more than one, you can, but you don't have to. I like to use multicolored pens. I've got my, you'll hear a little bit of rattling here. Got my Baron Fig set right here. You don't have to have anything crazy here. Oh, I'm sorry, I pronounced your name incorrectly. Let's see. Cutique. Oh, great. Cutique. Great. Thanks. From the Canary Islands. Awesome. That's awesome. Thank you so much for joining me today. People from all over the place. Like Cute Geek. Cute Geek. Great. That's awesome. Thank you so much for joining me today. So I am going to drop the weekly work pad in the chat here. So if you're interested in picking it up, you can. I'm revamping the actual videos for it. We've got a whole, that's the other thing, is we've got a nice little video setup here now, and the whole 9 yards. So let's just make sure that doesn't fall on me. So this is what I'm going to use, but there are plenty of other options that you can use. This is kind of what it looks like when you're done. And this is last week's plan. Let's see, a previous week. This is actually last week's plan. So this is what it looks like. And then what you do, I don't want to go into the daily stuff today. I'll probably do a future workshop on the daily stuff and kind of put this all on the playlist. But for now, this is what we're going to do. So what I want you to do is I want you to grab an entire, like a sheet of paper. It could be tiny like this, a little small guy. You could grab Post-it notes. You could, if you wanted to, what you could do is you could take Post-it notes and you just do one for every day of the week. So whether you want to plan 5 days or 7 days, it's really up to you. That's the thing, it's very fluid. So for me, I like to plan all 7 days of the week just because I want to make sure that my intentions for the week, I have a way to pay attention to them. So if you are trying to plan the weekend, then you may want to use something like this or write it all down on a sheet of paper or something like that. But or use 7 Post-it notes. But if you want, or sticky notes or whatever, you can use index cards, whatever. But get something that you, so once you have what you need, and again, if you're not watching this live, you could do this at the same time, but the people who are watching live, if you have something to write with and something to write on, let me know in the chat. So I know you've got everything ready, because then we can get right into it. Because the whole idea is, it's what, 10:11 my time right now. We want to be wrapped up by in the next 49 minutes, and we'll be able to do that, no problem. So if you have everything you need, the pens, papers, markers, whatever, great. You could use digital too. Again, set it up kind of where you could use like a digital document. I like to plan things out on paper, just because there's just something, and I don't know if you feel the same way, about writing it down. It's a bit more sticky for me. So that's how I like to do it. But yes, you can definitely use like OneNote, Evernote. You could use, really don't want you to use a task management app per se, because this stuff you may be using to refer from your task management app, and we'll get to that. But by and large, I'm doing this on paper, so that way it's pretty much tech agnostic, because some people are going to be Windows people, some people are going to be Android, Apple, iOS, whatever. All right, so here's what I want you to do. Is right at the top of your page, and I'm going to do this right now, and I do this in red. We're going to get started right away. Is I am going to write down all of the dates, the actual dates of the following week. So as we're recording this, it's November 22nd. So I am going to put, and you might actually, I'm going to lower this so that I don't get in your way here of the screen. But I'm going to start putting down the dates. So that's all I want you to do, is write the days of the week, either on each Post-it note or on your sheet of paper or whatever, and put the actual physical, like, numeric dates. So if you're doing this today with me, then you're going to write down the 23rd for Saturday, the 24th for Sunday. You're going to go all the way through until the following Friday. So this is going to take us through right until basically like the end of November, the 29th. Okay, so here we go. I'm just going to write this down. There's going to be a lot of you doing stuff as I do stuff. So all right, so I've written them all down. You can see right there. Okay, if you're looking at the sheet, by the way, I'll talk a bit more about these a little bit later, but this is kind of the crux of it. You'll notice if you follow my work before, that there's no real room for like mode-based work or anything like that. There is room for daily themes, and you can see that right there, but there's no room for mode-based work or anything like that. That's because I don't do that when I plan my week out. I do that daily stuff on this sheet, which you can get for free, and I will put a link to that in here as well. Let me just find out where that can happen. So daily progress planner. We'll get that near the end of your of the session. So we're not going to focus on that right now, but I want to have it ready. Here is the and actually here's how to map out a year in 1 hour. So I'll link to that a little bit later in the show in the stream area. Okay, so let's move on. So now, if you theme your days like I do, you can do this in the next step. Mark, thanks for joining. Awesome. That's what you can do. So, and if you want to pick up this the Daily Progress Planner, if you go to my website, productivityist.com, it's right at the top too. So you could just go to productivityist.com and get it. So let's look at this now. So if you theme your days, and here's the thing, whether you theme all of your days or whether you theme just one of them, if you have any sort of daily themes, put them in there. Now, again, I'm looking at a previous week, and I tend to use red for my themes, and you can see those are my daily themes there. I was very quick with that on purpose, because there's probably some stuff there that is interesting. So for me, my Saturday is my family day, and so is my Sunday. And by the way, this weekly work pad is from Sunday to Saturday. There are some PDFs that have it from Monday to Sunday. So I'm just planning from Saturday to Sunday at this point. Monday is my leveling day, and what I mean by that is it's kind of like the day where I either look at things and just start from, like, level them, whether that's getting rid of them, whether it's taking them to the next level, whether it's just maintaining them. It's replaced what I used to have as my optimization day. Tuesday is my looking day, which is primarily when I'll do video. Wednesday is my listening day, which is primarily when I'll do podcast stuff. Thursday is my deep work day, which is where I will take 0 meetings and have 0 interruptions, just be kind of untouchable on that day. And then Friday, fittingly, is my planning day. So by the time I'm done this step, and again, you don't have to do this for at all if you're not theming your days. Thursdays is overeat. Yes, Thanksgiving is coming up in the U.S., so yes, it could be overeat. But that's the thing. When we talk about daily theming, it's what your overarching focus should be on that given day. Now, obviously, a holiday is coming up. So for Americans, so on Thursday, if it's my deep work day, and I was American, let's say, I would probably not do a lot of deep work in terms of, for productivities, but there are other types of deep work you can do, like connecting with someone and having a deep conversation. You could, whatever matters to you. But daily themes, the great thing about those is that they give you a focal point. They give you something to focus on. All right, so here's what this looks like to me now that I'm done, okay? So now I've got my daily themes. Again, you may not have this looking exactly like this, but what you should have is at least the numeric stuff, and then if you have any kind of daily themes, you can do that. If you're interested in learning about daily themes, that's something that I talk about in my other work. I've talked about that on my 3 Minutes of Time Crafting podcast that I no longer do. And I also do that through some, whether you're picking up one of my new book, which is coming out in June, which you can pre-order now, called Time Crafting, or there'll be other workshops and stuff where I'll get into that in videos. But this is kind of how I do it. So if you didn't theme your days, that's fine. Now, what this does though for me is I know that I can refer to my task app, so I can actually go into Todoist or Asana or whatever you're using and look for these themes as the tags for tasks, right? So if I wanted to know, and I mean, we'll start with the ones that are most obvious to me. So I know that on Wednesday is my listening day. So you don't go like, hey, let me plan tomorrow, Monday, Sunday, Monday. You don't do it in sequential order, because with these daily themes, what they allow me to do and what they can allow you to do is, even no matter how many you use, is you can really hone in on that and say, okay, I know that on Wednesdays, for example, it's my listening day. So I'm going to produce, and I'm already a week ahead, so I'm going to produce episode number 273. So I can write that down, and you can see produce 273. And what that means is I now know that that is like the most important, which is why it's at the top, and it's in green. I've even used a different color. So if you don't have these thumbs up things, you can use a different color, or you can write it all in uppercase or all in lowercase, depending on how you want to do it. But now I know that that's the most important thing that I'm going to be doing on that day. Like if I get that done, that's what I need to do. Okay. Then I can look at the rest of the week and I can go, okay, well, Friday, plan week, right? So that's the other most important thing that I can do, right? So all I'm doing is looking at these daily themes and going, what are the things I need to do? Now, if you've got a task app or you're using your calendar, what you can do is you can take a look at your calendar and say, oh, I have meetings, I have this. So let's say you have a meeting on Thursday. You may want to put on, and let's say it's Thursday morning, you may want to say on Wednesday that your top task or one of your tasks you need to plan is to prepare for the meeting. Again, looking at your calendar and saying, okay, what does my calendar look like? So the calendar for me is very much a directory for my days and a directory for the week. So what happens is I can say, okay, well, I know that on Wednesday I'm doing a lot of podcast recordings because I've kind of defined my day as an audio day. So I only do recordings on that day. So I know I don't have a lot of time that is mine. It's now I've given it to someone else. So I really need to be more selective, and it'll probably be less stuff on here, right? Because I'm not going to put appointments on here. I'm not going to put talk to Courtney Carver about her new book. I already know that. But that I can say is, listen, I need to read Courtney's book, right? And I could probably read a good chunk of it. And again, this is just to be clear, I didn't notice how I didn't break it down. I said read Courtney's book. I might want to change that to say, and you might need to say, hey, read 50 pages of Courtney's book. Or I might want to do this instead. I'm not going to write it down, but because I've already done a lot of it, I probably just it should have said finish it. But I could put it across multiple days. Read 50 pages of Courtney's book all the way across. Courtney Carver's got a new book coming out, by the way, Project 333. So it's available for pre-order now. I'm interviewing her for my podcast, and I know I'm interviewing her on Wednesday, so therefore I want to make sure I'm prepared. Right? So that's what you want to do too with your week, is look at your calendar and look at it as the directory for your days and say, okay, I know what's going on. I know those are kind of the abstractions or things that are happening in my schedule. Now what I need to do is I need to map out the rest of the week to make sure that all those things I'm obligated to doing, that I've said, hey, I'm committing to doing this, they're there. Okay? So I'm going to go through and look at my schedule for the top tasks that I want to do for this part of the week. So I can tell you that tomorrow is my family day. And the one thing that I committed to, and I actually committed to this last night, is my son is a Lego fan, and he's building from his own bricks a Mandalorian ship from the Mandalorian. And he wanted me to help him today, and I said, I've committed to other things. But I will do this with you on Saturday. So I can now, if it's my top priority for the day, I will put it at the top. If it's not, I will put it below. It is my top priority. So like, help Colton with Lego. And that's broad enough, so it's right there now. So that's broad enough that, let's say he finishes the Mandalorian ship today. Let's say he finishes it, because we're going to watch it probably tonight or after he's done watching his stuff. I know that there's other Lego stuff I can help with. So because it's family day, I know that family stuff needs to be surrounding around that. Now, I can further go down the list and say, now this is where I grab my black pen. And I can say, get holiday decor out. So we're now, our Thanksgiving is finished in Canada, but we're now getting ready to decorate. So see how now I've got get holiday decor out? Now, it's a family day. That's the kind of stuff I would do on a family day. So all I'm going to do is at this point, and by the way, since I have family day on Sunday, I can also do that. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to look at, first off, the stuff from the previous week that I did not get done. I did not fix the lava lamp that my son owns. I did not sell some of the personal stuff that we want to sell because I've got some extra stuff. So I'm going to move that stuff first. So I'm going to say, hey, you know what? Fix lava lamp. And it's easy because Saturday's family day. I know this stuff could still apply to this day. Sell stuff. Now, again, we're talking about planning, and there's going to be other stuff in my to-do list that might give me other options as to what to do. Now, I will go and look in my task app, which is in front of me here, and I tag to figure this stuff out. Okay, so I will look at tags and I will say, okay, what have I tagged family? Okay, now you could do this in a paper planner as well. I will look at that and I will go, okay, let's look at, and I'll just quickly enter this here so that I would normally have done this on my phone in front of me, but we're doing this on here, so there we go. I am going to look into my task app, which I don't want to share what my task app is because the app really doesn't matter. You got to focus on the app within, right? So, but there are plenty of them. I love Todoist. I love Asana. Playing with Amazing Marvin now. Time Hero is what I'm using a lot for project management stuff now too. Lots of cool things. There's so many. Ultimately, what you want though is if you're going to use a digital task app, is to use one that has. I mean, you can see dark mode. You want to have one that allows you to tag or label. Okay, so I can now go in here and I can look at in this case, I'm using Todoist right now, just because I have some stuff in here that I know is family oriented. And there are 87 tasks that are tagged family. And that's crazy to somebody, right? They can go, oh my goodness, I can't believe it. But there's things in here like dehydrate fruit, mow the lawn, strip the bed, do laundry, like all those things, they're in there too. So I can look at this and I could say, okay, what do I need to do? Well, I could tell you right now, I've been doing this hello habit in the mornings. If I have a YouTube video for that called "How to Create a Good Morning Routine," and I can tell you that the one thing I need to do is I need to call my nephews who are all in near the Toronto area. So that is going on my list for Saturday. The other thing I need to do is I need to I need to plan meals. Now here's the thing. Planning meals is important. My wife doesn't get back until Monday, so I'm not going to put that down. See, so now I have this plan of like, okay, and it's also planning day, so I could technically do it on planning day as well. But it's tagged family as such. I need to let's see. I need to, there's a bunch of stuff here. Bottom line is I can look at my task app and I can put that stuff in here. And because Sunday is family day, I could do the same thing as well. I could take a look at family day on Sunday and go, okay, what am I going to add to that? So that's what you would do. You would do this for every single day of the week. You would do this for, if you're tagging things with themes, you could say, okay, everything that's leveling for Monday, I could look at it and go, okay, what are all the things I need to do? Well, I could tell you this is not the most important thing, but I need to review 1Password because there's some old things I'm not using anymore in 1Password. But you'll see, notice how I didn't make it my top task? So that's the other thing is you can list things that aren't your top tasks, like those little piddly things that you could put those below. Or you can put them in a different color, or you can rank them differently. But the point is that as you're thinking of this stuff, the theme days really help me. And if you're using a calendar, right, like you can put the daily themes in your calendar. You can put one day of the week as a theme, whatever you need to do. But then what happens is you can start to put the little piddly things that don't really ultimately aren't going to be the biggest, highest impact stuff in your on your weekly plan. Okay, so what I want you to do now is I want you to choose, let's just start with, just start mapping things out. So just start, if you've got a theme day, you could start there. But I want you to do kind of what I did is like, think of the tasks that you can do. If you got me, look at your calendar. So if I'm looking at mine right now for next week, I can tell you that starting, I was looking way in the future. So today, I could tell you today at 2 o'clock, my son's got to go somewhere. So I'm going to take him somewhere, maybe. And again, that's fluid. Tomorrow I have a coffee with my friends, Paul Jarvis and Mark Johns. So that's going to be something I'm going to have to take into account when I'm looking at family stuff. And also, by the way, I don't have to fill this, just so you know. So right now I'm not like overly concerned about it, filling it. I look at Sunday now, and there's the Oak Bay light up on Sunday, which I might go to, which is like a Christmas light up. So Sunday, that's a family activity. I've got a working session on Sunday. So what I could do today is I could say, and this is not listed for today because I'm planning the following week, is I could say plan Sunday work. So even if it doesn't fall into the daily theme, notice I could put it right there, like plan Sunday work. Because I go and have a working session with my friend Russell Lolliker over at the coffee shop just down the road. We do that for like 3 hours. Okay? Another thing I need to do is I look at the following week and we have a profit first meeting, my wife and I. We usually have a profit first meeting on Monday. We are not going to have that. But I need to, speaking of leveling, you need a budget. So I need to update YNAB on Monday. That's my leveling day. So I could do that on leveling day. I could do it, I could do it every single day. So I could do something like write down update YNAB every day. I could put in here, but that's something that's important to me. And yes, you can, awesome. Amazing Marvin. I don't want to get, that's the other thing, is I wanted to make this very app agnostic because you can take a lot of what I'm talking about, and if you've got the digital tools, you can say, okay, well, let me take a look. Like, for example, in Todoist, you can create filters around labels. So you could say, hey, Monday's my leveling day, so I want to create a filter that says I want to see everything that's got the label leveling, and I want to see that over the next 30 days, or I wanted to see everything that's got leveling. And then you name the filter like Monday Focus, right? Or whatever that theme is. So you could do that as well. And I've just started to scratch the surface with both Time Hero and Amazing Marvin. Those are two tools that I'm very excited about because they lend themselves nicely to time crafting, which is the methodology that I teach. So I'm spending more time just not necessarily exploring apps to switch, but just saying, hey, can I help people time craft inside of these apps with time crafting? Okay, so I look at Tuesday, and Tuesday, I'm looking at my schedule right now. I have an interview on Tuesday for a podcast, so I could prepare for that. And again, Now, it's not until later on the day on Tuesday, but I'm still going to put on Monday because I want to make sure I'm prepare for Maple Money because I'm going to be on the Maple Money podcast. So I'll put that on Monday. Again, it's not necessarily related to leveling per se, but it's something I need to do. Now, I could very easily have done it today if I look that far ahead and say, hey, it's my planning day, I should do this today. But my day, if I'm looking at it right now, it's pretty full. I've got to plan my study initiative that I'm doing here for YouTube. I'm going to do a YouTube study initiative. I have to do 1 hour of email triage because I'm a bit behind on email and I'm doing my own email now. Plan YouTube thumbnails for the next few. I have to watch some DSLR training so I can learn how to get better at this camera. I have to plan Amazing Marvin. There you go. We just mentioned it. I have to spend some time in Meet Edgar. I have to spend some time in the Webinar Ninja course because I'm going to do more webinars. And I have to work on the book. So that I haven't done any of that yet. So I can look at this and say, okay, these things all need to be done. So there's that. I can also tell you that on Tuesday we're filming. So I'm probably on Monday. Yeah, it makes actually. I don't have to do that on Monday. I can do it Tuesday because my time is until 11 o'clock. I can say, let's say map out YouTube video. Now the great thing about having daily themes too is that you know the next default date, right? So I know that on Tuesday I'm generally doing video stuff, anything related to looking. So I'm going to read, I'm going to probably plan all my Instagram posts, my Pinterest stuff, anything to do with the eyes. I'm going to write my vision statement. I just got off the phone with a friend of mine who, we were talking about vision stuff. So there's that. So I know that my filming session is from 11 to 1. I've got the morning to map out some YouTube stuff, right? So there's that. So that's the great thing about it too, is that whatever I don't get done, like let's say today, my default next day would be the following Friday for planning. So if I don't get a chance to plan Amazing Marvin today, my next default day would be this coming Friday. Now, it could be Monday because I want to set a level playing field, but the bottom line is that the themes are what I call just right. They're like the Goldilocks factor. They're not too hard, they're not too soft, they're just right. So I know that it's not going to go to tomorrow, the next tomorrow, the next tomorrow, the next tomorrow. I can do that. Again, intention plus attention, right? So I can tell you right now that filming, like planning that stuff on Tuesday is great. And what's interesting is Dom, who's watching this right now, or who was watching it live, we actually, before he left here yesterday, we're doing some deep work on the YouTube stuff because yesterday was my deep work day. I said, oh man, we're behind now. We've got to shoot some video for next week. This is the video for this Friday, but what about next week? And he goes, oh no, you're ahead. You've got that other video already ready. I had forgotten that I had that done already because theming had allowed me to get that stuff prepared. So when he comes by on Tuesday to shoot some more, he's still here, great. When he comes, we're already a week ahead. Like all I need to do is, and this is so as I'm talking about this, what I need to do is I need to say to him, hey, listen, I need to finish, I'm going to put YouTube video shot list or shots or whatever. And I put that on the Monday, but I could very easily have put it on the Tuesday because we've got a week. We're ahead now. I want to give Dom more time. If it was just me, I probably would do it on the Tuesday, but I want to give him a bit more time. Okay. Wednesday, I'm looking at Wednesday already. So I'm looking at my calendar, and you can do the same thing. And by the way, my wife is out of town right now all the way through till Monday. So that plays a role in what I'm going to be able to do on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, right? Because it's just me flying solo as a parent. So there's that. Wednesday, I've got 3 podcast interviews. So I know and my work day generally ends around 3 o'clock on Wednesdays because my son comes home. I am basically full all the way so Wednesday is going to be very, very light. But what I can do is I can say, you know what? I'm going to produce 274. And what happens on Wednesdays is once you've done this, you can really get a sense of what you should be doing every single week. So I will produce. So right now I'm writing down. I'm going to produce the next week's episode, so that way I can get even further ahead. I'm going to follow up with guests, right? I'm going to update the podcast project fully. So like in Asana, for example, they have like, do you want to update your project? So I can put that there. And then I'm going to prepare for 275 and review booked guests. And that's probably the extent of what I'm going to get done. I've still got room. But this is again, we're talking about like this plan needs to be fluid. But look, everything is locked in on a Wednesday. That's my listening day. You can do this if you have a daily theme and you have agency over your whole day. You can do this. But if you don't have agency over your entire day, and some people do not, they're working a 9 to 5, you can still structure your responsibilities around the specific times of day that you want to do it during the week. So, or during every day. So, if you have a job that works 9 to 5, but you have consistent stuff that you need to do, that stuff can go in here, like the black stuff, like how so you could put like what happens to me on Wednesdays. Maybe these tasks could be different for you, but you might need to do them every single day. You might have to do them every other day. But the point is that those things that you're afraid are going to fall through the cracks or going to push you behind, those are the things that you can plan out. So I can tell you that on Tuesday, map out YouTube video. I can put write YouTube vid description. And normally when I say that, that's going to be for the video for that week. So the video will come out on 11/29. I'll write that. I will put down things like update kit, which I did this week. I've got like productivity kit.com/productivityist. I put my kit up there. Promote gift guide, because that's something people will look at. Right? So that's something I want to work on. Again, everything that they're looking at, right? Now, that's different. I'm not going to do that every single week, but I'm definitely going to do it next week. And I'll probably do it all the way through until Christmas, because, or whatever you celebrate. Christmas is traditionally what people will be using the gift guide for, let's say. I can update that, right? Throughout. Now, I have it on, I'm going to have it on Pinterest. I'm going to have it. But the point is that once you have, the themes are really super powerful in that regard. Because whatever I don't get done on Tuesday, I know the next default for looking stuff is the following Tuesday. But by and large, it's going to be the same stuff, right? So you could say, hey, you know what? My day of the week I'm going to do Monday is going to be like an admin day. So what are the admin tasks that I need to do every Monday, right? Or if you're like, no, I have to do admin every day, I'm just going to write that stuff down. And that way you see it. And by the way, this supports what I see on the screen, right? So I've looked at my calendar and I know, hey, Thursday, I have a conversation with my friend Angela, but that's it. It's my deep work day, and I only booked it that way because it's early in the day. It's early enough in the day that I'm not going to be into too much deep work yet, and I can have a deep conversation with Angela, who's a friend of mine. So that's happening. And interestingly, I wouldn't have booked that. I booked it 2 weeks ago, maybe not quite. If I had known or had it firmly entrenched that Thursday was my deep work day, which I just changed 2 weeks ago, I wouldn't have booked it on Thursday. I would have booked it for Friday, because Friday is completely free for me right now. So completely free. So I can look at Friday, and Friday, again, planning week, I can do plan YouTube videos. I can do plan new secret initiative, which I'm going to not share right now because it's not ready yet. But so I'm going to put right here. If you watch in a second, you might get an Easter egg. So I put that there. Plan coaching stuff, So all of a sudden, you can see that I've got planning stuff here. It's all falling in, and I know I have no abstractions on Friday. Deep work, there's nothing there yet, right? So there's absolutely nothing in the deep work day yet. Interestingly, the reason I'm probably not going to be able to put too much on there right now is because I'm talking to you. So deep work, to map that day out, actually requires me to go, okay, how am I going to, actually, I know what I'm going to put here. It's going to take some deep work to do, but I'm going to put down right vision statement. This is, so now I've got right personal vision statement there. Monday, I might also put it there. So this is another example of if you are not entirely sure, or you don't have a theme day, you might want to give yourself a break and have it in 2 different days. Because I don't really have a priority for Monday yet, but that would fit to, do my level best, to level up, that kind of thing. Thursday, not so much. Maybe Thursday would work, but it's like the next default day. So this is kind of how I do it. And this is not hard to do. Remember, you're going to look at your calendar. You're going to see all the things you need. And by the way, Thursday is a haircut day too. So you look at your appointments and go, okay, what can I realistically accomplish in this time frame? And so the calendar appointments give you kind of a real kind of landscape of your week. I know Wednesday I'm not going to be able to get a lot of outside of the normal stuff. I'm not going to be able to get a lot of stuff done. Just the usual Wednesday stuff. Tuesday we're filming for 2 hours, so that's so about 3 hours of my working day on Tuesday, which is again from like 9 to 2. So really, when you think about it, it's like 5 hours, at least during, like, I work at night too. And I'll talk that kind of stuff falls into what I call my daily waves, the baseline for a productive day. I normally finish up whatever hasn't been done there and do a lot of the making stuff there. But I can look at that and say, okay, well, I know that 2 hours and 45 minutes of my day on Tuesday, I am going to be busy, either filming actively or actively on a podcast. So I want to be fully present for those. So I know that I only really have about 3 hours worth of work available to me. Mapping out my YouTube videos, writing YouTube descriptions, promoting the gift guide, and reading Courtney's book, that probably is all I can preliminarily plan. Sunday, I've got 3 hours of working. The rest of the time is with my family. So if I'm getting the holiday decorations out, maybe on Sunday, we're actually going to decorate. So then I can put that there, right? So again, this feeds this, right? The other thing is then you can look at your digital to-do list for all the stuff you've already put there. Whether you, again, doesn't have to be digital. If you're using a bullet journal or something like that, you can look and say, okay, what do I know that I need to do still? Again, looking maybe at your previous week's plan, looking at your digital tools and saying, okay, I know that I have not fixed the lava lamp yet. I know that I haven't sold stuff. I know that I haven't written enough stuff for the gift guide. That stuff can fill in the blanks here. And remember, there's only so much room, which is why a Post-it note's not a bad idea, because you can only fit so much on it. Stephen Pressfield talks about the foolscap method in his book, The Authentic Swing. That's something that you can take into account. Hey, I can only fit so much in these slots because there's only so much you can do in a day. You want to make sure that these intentions have your attention. So there's lots of stuff. If I was to look at my digital task app, I could tell you that there are 24 leveling tasks, 19 looking tasks, 12 listening, 58 learning, which was my old theme day, which is no longer there, but it's still like learning is a form. I've got deep work. There's 47 deep work tasks, and there's 87 family tasks, all in here. If I was to look at that at face value, I'd be freaking out. I'd be saying there's no way I can do all that stuff. None. But that's not what the job is. All the digital tool, by and large, when you're putting stuff in it, you need to sort it in a way so that when you're looking at it, that you don't end up sitting there going, "Oh my God, this is so overwhelming." It's all about filtration. This is a way to filter, and the digital tool can help you because what you can say is, okay, what's overdue? What didn't I do? Okay, let me move these and put these and properly map these out. It doesn't take a lot of time. You've heard me just now. Look at how much of my week I filled out already. This stuff is already, I haven't put anything in deep work yet either. And how many deep work tasks did I tell you? Actually, I put one thing in there. I have literally 47 things worth of deep work. 47 of them. And as I'm talking to you right now, I already know 2 of them, right? I already know that there's 2 of them. And I can tell you what they are right now, because they are from this week. First off, one is to work on the book. Now, again, not the best task always to write down, work on book. This is more of a broad strokes thing. You might want to, again, put like spend time on book, stuff like that. I've gotten to the point where the book is far enough ahead that I can put this down. And also it's kind of out of my hands too. So I can only work on what they give me. So I'm going to put that there mainly if there's something to work on with the book, I want to see it. Okay? Again, attention. Intention, the book. Attention, on this page. I am going to watch the DSLR training videos that I've purchased. I'm going to watch a moment lesson. By the way, notice how, because I'm using moment lenses now for my iPhone. Okay, so I can do that. I'm going to spend time in Meet Edgar because I need to spend more time on that. I look at Monday and see when you start doing this, other things pop up. We've only been on there for 45 minutes, not even. So Monday, I'm going to optimize text expander because there's some outdated things in there. And by the way, reviewing 1Password does the same thing. So I'm going to be leveling, maintaining, fixing text expander on Monday. I'm going to spend time in Meet Edgar. I'm going to spend time in the Webinar Ninja course. Now, by the way, you probably saw at the bottom stuff that you need to do regularly. So this is the last thing I try to do, is I leave room at the bottom normally for tasks that I need to do consistently. So I had write book there all week or work on book. It didn't. So here's what I'm going to do. For the rest of this week, because I'm in a 30-day Webinar Ninja course, all I'm going to do, and this may sound like, oh, come on, Mike, you're in this course. You're getting an email every single day. Why would you need to write it down? Because I get lots of emails every day. I get lots of things taking my attention. This is me right now being fully present, saying, hey, here are the things that I need to do. Now, I don't need to necessarily put in here work on Webinar Ninja course. So I just put along the bottom, you can see Webinar Ninja course. So WN course, right? Which, by the way, is on the bottom of these ones too. Okay? The week-long study thing that I'm doing, this initiative for YouTube and for the blog and all that, I want to choose, I haven't chosen yet necessarily what I'm going to do that on this upcoming week. Maybe, do you want to suggest something? If you want to, and you're here right now. Someone meant Amazing Marvin, I could do that. Time Hero is another one. Text Expander I've already mentioned, 1Password. What I'm going to be doing with this initiative is I'm kind of using the Scott Young Ultra Learning Model that I have to use on my podcast as well, and Josh Kaufman's First 10 Hours. And I'm going to spend 10 hours, so 5 days, a week, a full work week, studying an app, a philosophy, a method, a piece of equipment, and get as good at it as I can. Maybe not mastery, but just get proficient. And so if you are, and we're going to come to, I'll mention this to you in a second, Nadia. I see there's going to be some questions. We're going to get to that in about 3 minutes. So is there an app or a tool or something that you want? I haven't done any of these yet. I have not actually, I won't be publishing these till December. But if there's one that you want me to do, next week's the week. So if there's a tool that you want me, or an app or something like that, put it in the chat right now. Say, hey, you know what, Mike, I want you to study this, and because what it's going to be is it's going to be my thoughts on it. There's going to be a master shot. There's going to be some screencasts. I'm going to show you how to time craft it, all that stuff. So if there's something that you want me, and you could do this in the comments after the fact too. You get good notes. I see that there. If you're watching this not live, you can put it in there too, because I'll take the ideas from here. And then here's what I'm going to do. This is the crazy part. So I am going to, because I'm going to look on Tuesday and I'm going to go review comments. So I'm calling the tentative title for this session, this series is called 1 Week Studies. Or I might call it single week studies because I like alliteration, or 7-day studies, but I like 1 week. I'm trying to figure out what SEO will work best. But I'm going to, on Tuesday, you can see, I just put it, review. Right? There it is right there. Review. Right? So now on Tuesday, because this video is going live Friday, I'm going to come back and look, say, what do people want? So if you want an app or something for me to, like a piece of equipment like my Rodecaster or my Canon G7 or the Timular device, I'm looking all around my office and seeing a bunch of stuff, sketchnoting, things like that, let me know. I will study it for, that 10 hours, and then I will make a video about what I learned, what I like, how I do it, all that stuff. Okay? Notion, done. Yeah, Notion is definitely, I have a preliminary list. I want to say it's right in here. Oh yeah, look. So I'm going to share it with you. This is my preliminary list. So again, planning this, and I think I put this out last Friday. So here is my preliminary list, if you want to take a look, if you could focus in on that. So there's my preliminary list. Leaving it up here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And maybe learning how to do YouTube Lives would be one of those things. And I need to get better at because I'm not too thrilled about the audio with this. But I think this is working out okay. If you're liking what you're seeing so far, give me a thumbs up. Tell me in the comments. Let me know if you're live. If you're not, just say, hey, I love this. I want you to do more of these YouTube Lives. What else you want me to do with YouTube Lives? Lots of stuff like that. So I will put in here for now, because I don't know what we're... So I'm going to put the... And this, again, I use blue for the things I want to do consistently. So I'm going to put OWS, and I'm just going to put a colon, because I don't know what it is yet. So I'm going to put OWS. I'll put a hyphen, because that's more obvious. Right now, I'm leaning towards 1 week studies, because it just sounds like something you could even you all could do. And 1 always sounds better than 7. So you can see here, OWS, but we don't know what that is yet. It could be GoodNotes, could be Notion. Awesome. That's okay. Yeah. If you missed it, this is going to be a lot up for a while. So now that we're down to 10 minutes left, just a shade under, if you have any questions, and I know, Nadia, you had one. Are you reviewing the ones last week? How do I know it needs to be carried over? Okay, so that's a good question. So let me take a look at, I'm going to go through this real quick, and I'm going to say, okay, the way I do things is, and I'm not going to show it to you necessarily, but I have what I used to call it the strike-through system, but someone else has got this thing called strike-through. I actually think strike-through system was there first, but it doesn't matter. I have 3, when I look at something, whether it's on in a notebook like this, right, in one of my Bear and Fig notebooks, or whether it's on the Daily Progress Planner, right, or whether it's on this, like on this, I want to be able to look at it. So there's 4 ways. So, and I think it's, it used to be called, I have an acronym for this. I want to say it's EASE. But here it is. So if it is, so let's put like, I'm going to put do this. I'm going to just put this, I'm going to write it down here. So do this, and do this. Okay, so let's say that these are 4 tasks, right? So this is how I know what's been carried over. So I've got these 4 things. If the task has been done, I cross it off. Okay? If the task has not been done, and I'm going to do it later, whether it's the next theme day, whether it's the next day, whether I haven't decided yet when to do it, all that stuff, because sometimes I can say I'm going to do it later, but I'm going to tell myself in the digital app that I use that it's going to be done later. I do this. The arrow. That means I've moved it to another date, right? That's all. It also could mean that if you want to use it this way, I really don't. You could also use it as I'm making a decision on it that either means I'm doing it later or I'm going to delegate it. Like it fits into both those categories. If I'm not going to do this thing at all, if I'm not going to do it at all, that. You could even go like that if you want. I don't want to see it anymore. It's gone. I'm not even going to do it. That's why when I say capture everything, regret nothing, I can capture all this stuff and there's maybe no intent of me to actually end up doing it, but it's there, right? So now it doesn't even matter. If I have not done it, made a decision to delegate it or defer it to later, or I'm just decided to delete it altogether, it will look like this. So I'm going to be honest with you guys right now. It's been a hectic week. There are some things here that I'm going to, right now, this is what it looks like. So there's some stuff in here that I, like, wait a minute, Mike, it's past Wednesday. I haven't done the strike through. But here's the thing, is I can go back right now and go, there's that. There is, I did not do that. That needs to be deferred. That needs to be deferred. I did not do that. I did not do that. I did not do that. And again, sometimes did not do means I'm not going to do it. That did get done. This needs to be deferred. I did not do that. This needs to be deferred. I did not do that. And sometimes, by the way, if it's recurring, I will just cross out that I didn't do it that day. I did do this. I did not do this, but I'm going to do it later. I did not do this, and it's written down again in the future. I did not do this, and I did not do this. Okay, so now this is what this looks like. So now you can see, like, there's a whole bunch of lines, arrows, and stuff, but I can look at this quickly and go, didn't do it, didn't do it, did do it, deferred it to later, and I can say that I did all that. So that's how I do it. All right. Yes, don't confine your arrow to a tiny box. Make it obvious and bold, Nadia. You can't make it so small. It needs to, you need to be able to, because the arrow should hide something a bit so that you can go, oh, right. Like, I can look that I did not write my attention newsletter yesterday, but I can still see that I wrote attention, which is why I like using a different color for my arrows. Like the red, notice how the red isn't used anywhere except for the dates and the arrows. That's how I do it, right? So the same principle applies. I think that when you're doing something like this, you want to make sure, and I want to be respectful of your time. We got about 5 minutes. You want to be sure that you can see it. So getting, you know those multi-pens that we used to have as kids? I don't know if you guys did, or if you're, you know, maybe I'm dating myself, but those pens, yeah, awesome. Thanks, Don. Really appreciate it. The pens, you know, the big pens that had multi things. Yes, exactly. So for me, I really liked, I used to use those until I got all these Baron Fig pens that my wife absolutely hates that I bought, but I love their stuff. I really love Baron Fig stuff. I could just use a simple big pen with like the black, red, green, blue. So go, if you're not going to do anything else after today, other than maybe buy one of these little planning things if you want, which is great. Yeah, the Pilot Colito. I used to have that pen. I love that pen. I had multiple inks for it, but I just really love the way the Baron Fig pens write, so I went with that. And plus, I like to. It's almost like there's a weird artistry of me grabbing different pens, and I have like a case that I bring with me and stuff. I'm really like one of these notebooks comes with me everywhere I go. Which, by the way. And if, I think this one is just, yeah, I just started filling this one out. So it's not, that's the other thing too, is on a page like this, like I will cross it out if I didn't accidentally, like, I know that this has been done, so it's no longer valid. But when I'm looking at this, there's things that I, like, for example, this is something I want to write down, shame, guilt, regret, or productivity killers, all that stuff. So I think so just grab like one of those pens and you'll be on your way. Colster, I hope I'm pronouncing this right. Colster asks, do you think there's an advantage to using a physical method such as writing tasks or obligations versus using a pure digital method? Yes, I do. There is some, I don't have the data in front of me, but there is some scientific studies that writing something down, there's the pattern that you make with letters or characters that is different than when you type because they're all, you know, it's just that. But the problem, we get overwhelmed with digital tools because they're great for storage, right? They're fantastic for that. I don't bullet journal because the bullet journal, I would have to like filter and search. I can't. I love what writers put together for that. I love that kind of concept. But the digital tools allow for long-term incubation and easy search, right? And filtering too. But the problem is that if you're looking at a digital tool and you see so many things in it, there's that bias in your brain that goes, oh my gosh, I have so much that I have to do today. You may not like ultimately think that, but part of you does. So there's something about doing that transfer that really draws your attention to it. Like, these are my intentions for the week. And then further distilling it down to, these are my intentions for the day. And then using the digital tool as kind of like the reference point. So when I'm capturing things on paper, at the end of today, I will put this on my desk and I know that I'll go through it and go, what doesn't have any of those arrows through it or strike throughs through it. And I'll put that in my digital tool unless I plan on doing it in the next few days, which is why having some room here is good. Then the digital tool becomes the place where that stuff gets stored. Because I can trust that because it's been designed to be a warehouse. Your mind was meant to be a factory, not a warehouse. So what you can do then is transfer from the digital to here, and then you can see it. Now the other benefit is that this doesn't ding at you. This doesn't prompt you. This doesn't do anything but give you what you want to see, right? So that's why I believe that having a hybrid method really works. The other reason is there are a ton of apps out there, but there are always drawbacks to some of them. Some don't sync across multiple platforms. Some don't work as well across multiple platforms. Sometimes your battery dies, and then like, what are you gonna do, right? So that's another reason. So I think a hybrid method is the best of both worlds. I love my digital tools and I use them, but I think having that really is helpful to me. Is there any other questions we have? Well, we're pretty much done. I'll stick around a couple more minutes if people want. But this has been, I really hope you like this. If you liked this kind of YouTube live, like the actual like watch me kind of do things, I'm going to do some webinars too, and they're going to be a bit more in depth, probably related to apps more than anything else, or how to time craft in apps or things of that nature, that kind of thing. Let me know. I'm one of the things I'm trying to focus on is doing more of these kind of things. I love the idea of having an ability for you guys to sit back, and we did this in all under an hour. Like you could do this in under an hour. So imagine, now here's the funny thing is hilariously is that you have to do this, like when you plan your day, you think, oh, well, there's 7 days in the week, so it should only take me 10 minutes to plan a day. Not necessarily true. So again, there may be like a how to plan your day in under an hour, or how to plan your day in under 15 minutes or something like that. So I will do more of these if you want them. Let me know what you want to see in the comments. I'm really glad that, yes, the immediate feedback is awesome. That's why webinars work so well too. So I will be doing some webinars as well, just because the platform is a little bit more, there's a bit more freedom to the platform, I believe. Maybe not. We'll see. I love the YouTube live stuff too, because I want to help as many people as possible. Too many notebooks. Yeah, see, when I'm done with this notebook, I just, it's done. I toss it. It's recyclable. So I'm like, bye. And I have notebooks here that tell me what each notebook is for too, so that's helpful as well. Yep, using an app, tagging, all that stuff. Maybe I'll do it. Maybe I can do an entire live on or webinar on tagging and like the equivalent of tagging in different apps, because that's one thing I want to do is I don't want to necessarily say here's how you use Notion. I'd rather say here's how I use Notion, or here's how you can time craft inside of Notion, or here's how you can do time crafting in Todoist or Amazing Marvin or Time Hero or Asana. That to me is more compelling because apps change so much. I remember writing a book on Asana, and then within a few weeks of the book being released, they're like, yeah, we've changed the UI. Great. And YouTube videos have a long tail, so I'd rather have some timelessness to these. So that's another thing. Yeah, tag like exactly. Nadia's got a great point. Having like consistent tags, not just across multiple apps, but if you run an organization, when I work with teams, I say come up with what's called a team task management charter, and there should be some common tags across the whole team. Something that is like not necessarily personal, but like admin tasks or sales tasks or something like that. And then the personal ones become more like low energy, high energy, things like that. I could build a tag library in Notion. I need to spend, Notion is one of those tools where I know I want to spend more time with. I've talked to Ben and Francesco, and it's definitely probably something that would appear in the 1 week study program that I'm going to be putting out. But yeah, if you want to see, tell me. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to wrap up now. If you have more questions, I will answer them in the comments. So if you have more questions after, or if you're watching this after the live and you want to ask some questions after you've watched the video or during the video, put them in the comments. I will respond. Personally, it's me that does this, not an assistant. It's me. You've got me. Secondly, if you have an app, a tool, a philosophy, anything like that you would like me to try for 10 hours, 1 week, 5 days, the 1 week study, let me know in the comments and I will do it. Or I will evaluate it and see if I can do it. Okay. I will take all suggestions and evaluate them accordingly. And if you want to see another one of these lives, I'd like to do these more often, maybe once per month. Let me know what you would like to see. Friday is my planning day, so I generally have a lot of open availability on Fridays. We can make that happen as well. That's it. Thanks so much, everybody, for watching live, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed this video, watching live or otherwise, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell. That way, I publish new videos every single week now. I've been doing it consistently. I'm glad I made that a monthly theme, so I'm loving what's going on with YouTube. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great weekend, and until next time, remember to stop guessing and start going. We'll see you later.